Hello, my name is Mike Johnson. I'm taking you on an inside and outside video tour of this 2023 Jayco Alante Class A gas bunk bed motorhome. Has the rear king bed. It's got bunk beds, power front bunk bed as well. This has the new technology Ford V8 high torque, supposed to get a lot better gas mileage V8 engine. This is on a smooth riding chassis. There were some changes of the chassis for the new engine. They ride a lot smoother and quieter than the old chassis, in my opinion. This one is a 29F floor plan with the bunk beds. So as we stand here for a second, I'm going to show you the floor plan and specifications for this motorhome. Floor plan specifications. If you want to pause the video and read in detail, here are your floor plan specifications. If not, I'm getting on with it. You can pause your screen and screenshot it right there. Okay, starting with the passenger side, it has a full length awning, a gigantic awning. If you look at other motorhomes that have 2 or 3 slides, they have small awnings on the campground side because the slide interferes with the ability to have an awning. But this one has no slide on the campground side. That's a big issue for a lot of people because the little ones are bumping their heads or on the corners of the slide outs if they're in the campground. You have a gigantic television and entertainment system here in the campground side. You have gigantic storage, and if you notice on the reflection of the cargo doors, it's a glossy mirror finish exterior. You've got a table that goes between the front seats and a table leg. I'll show pictures of that inside later. But this is your outside entertainment system. This TV can pivot and point in different directions. This has an onboard inverter, so you can watch TV when you're primitive camping. And if you don't know what primitive camping is, here is a picture of a camper in primitive camping in the middle of nowhere. Even in this parking lot right here is primitive site. We're in a parking lot, we're not plugged in. Right now we're not running the generator. This is primitive camping. But if you turn on the inverter, all your electrical outlets will work. Your TV will work. All kinds of things function on the inside, running on inverter power from the RV batteries. Has a gigantic front windshield on a Class A motorhome with outstanding views of the countryside. Here in the United States, we have beautiful countrysides and mountains and streams and rivers that you can explore. And a Class A lets not only the driver and passengers see out, but the people sitting in the back can see out as well. As opposed to a Class C where there's a big bed blocking everybody's view in the cab. This one gives outstanding views, and it has a power front sunshade. So if the sun is too much for you, you lower the front shade and you can keep the sun off you when you're driving. Up on the roof, there is a 200-watt factory installed solar system. That solar was put on by Jayco in the factory. This is factory installed solar. It's a factory installed Wi-Fi booster antenna up on the roof. This one has 2 ACs. These are high efficiency soft start air conditioners, which means you can run those 2 ACs on this smaller 4,000 watt generator. This 4,000 watt generator uses less gas than the 5,500 watts that you would usually need to run 2 ACs, but because they're a soft start, more expensive, they're a newer generation of air conditioners that will soft start, that let you use the smaller generator. And if you had an old RV and you can only run 1 AC on the 4,000 watt, these new ACs will run high efficiency. They're Mac Q air ACs, so they're different, and they can run both on generator. Out in the back, you have a 5,000 pound tow hitch. You have a really nice backup camera up there above the Y in the Jayco. It's a small mini backup camera, not like those old clunky ones. LED lights all around. Glossy mirror finish exterior. As we're in the shade, you can see reflections. It's like a mirror looking at the side of this motorhome. The embarrassment factor when you go to a campground is zero. There's no oxidation or fading of the graphics because this is a 2023. It's really nice, clean 2023 motorhome. We're gonna go inside and take a look. This also has side view cameras, by the way. We're gonna take you on a test drive. Side view cameras are in the rear view mirror. We're gonna look through all the cargo compartments, and I'm gonna show you underneath and the roof, as you've seen already. We're gonna extend this giant patio awning and have a we're not gonna have a picnic unless you buy it, but it's got a very large 21-foot patio awning, so you can bring a lot of guests with you, sleeping on those bunk beds, and have a lot of shade in the campground area. So we're about to go inside the 29F. I've turned on the outside TV so you can see that that works. This is a gigantic, I think it's like a 40-inch TV. Could be a 32, but I think it's bigger. We have the LED awning light strip on, and we're extending this mega size awning. Making sure we have clearance. Nice. This is the really nice Dometic series awning. This is a more expensive, nicer awning, height adjustable, or Solera. Very nice power awning. It extends out. You have this 21 foot of shade, and because it's a long one, it has a center support to keep it from bouncing and stuff on the going over the road. So you can be out here enjoying your entertainment system with your gas grill hooked up to the propane on board. Let's go inside as we start working our way in. Right here, this is the control for our inverter. So it has a Xantrex Freedom X. Those are really nice inverters, state of the art. The main power is on. This is your awning control. This is your solar controller. We're in the building now where the RV is nice and clean and cool for you to view it. And then these are assorted lights. So outside, as I'm pointing here, we have a very bright patio light or a less bright LED light strip. This coach has these frameless windows, look clean with no visible frame from the outside. That's why they're called frameless. Right now I have the slide closed. People always ask me, what does it look like with the slide closed? Do I have room to move around inside? And you do. Now the floor plan, it is very similar to a Coachman Pursuit. Our Coachman has a Pursuit that has almost exactly the same floor plan, or a Thor Ace 30.2, or Thor Hurricane or Windsport 34J. The 34J is a longer motorhome. This is a shorter motorhome than those, but it still has the king bed. And this is a Jayco, which is a nice, it's been a family-owned company for a very long time. We've got wall switches here, which we can turn things on. We've got our bed over here, and we've got what I would call whitewash style furniture. You've got lights, blue or white, so that's like a low output blue night light or white reading light on both sides of the bed. Blackout curtain window shades. You've got a bedroom TV. We're gonna open the slide in a minute, and I'll show you more. But with the slide closed, this is how much space you have. You can get in or out of the bunk. You can use your rear queen bed. You can use your toilet or your shower with the slide closed. You can use the front electric bed, the kitchen. You can access your bunk beds. Now they don't have TVs in the bunk bed, they have like tablet holders. So if your kids have iPad, you can clip those into the tablet holder so they can watch iPads in bed. So you don't have to have the generator running or anything like that to play TV. Simplified, they got all their shows on the iPad these days. Wow, over here you've got a 4-door refrigerator, which those other motorhomes that I mentioned, Hurricanes and Wind Sports and Aces and Pursuits, don't have the big 4-door refrigerator that this one does. This is a fancy motorhome, okay? This is not the cheapskate motorhome. This is the fancy motorhome. Really nice one. And you got your owner's books right here. Let's open the slide out. So slide extender is right here. We have the engine off. Before I go too far, I'm going to point out there is a giant amount of space between the driver's seat and the slide wall, which those other motorhomes that I mentioned don't have either. Very few motorhomes have this much clearance from the seat to the slide wall. So a lot of times when you go look at a motorhome, you'll see that the fabric is all damaged because someone's trying to drive and they want to recline the seat a little bit and it's rubbing on the slide. You don't have that problem on this fancy pantsy Jayco. It's got all kinds of technology. So we're going to continue out, sliding out. Now this is a full wall slide out, and if you notice at the top it has accent lighting. So now that the slide is open, we're going to go all the way to the bedroom. We have panorama view window, which this is also doubles as an emergency escape window, but you can close this off for privacy. You've got an actual dresser drawers. I've never seen this in any other motorhome in this size or price range. You got nice little dressers, so you can put his socks, her socks, his underwear, her underwear, or lingeries or whatever, you know, sort them out a little bit deeper. Drawers for shorts and tank tops and things like that. You've got storage behind the TV with power for all your gizmos, so you can put gizmos behind the TV and charge them. You have a dresser, hanging clothes closet. This is an expandable ladder, comes with the motorhome. This is factory installed, and that gives it easier access to the roof, or if you need a ladder for getting to the bunks, that's also your bunk ladder. So it doubles as a bunk ladder or a roof access ladder. It's right there. Now underneath the bunk beds, you have giant drawers, which a lot of other motorhomes don't have. There's a lot of storage in this motorhome. Lights in the bunks. A better look at this tablet holder. So this is adjustable and you can mount your iPad in there. You have a PowerPoint, so it could be plugged in to charge when the engine's running. Or remember, this whole RV has an inverter, so those outlets will work whether you're running the generator or whether you're primitive camping in the middle of nowhere or in a parking lot or driving down the road. Your outlets will all work because you have the inverter system, that Freedom X Zentrix inverter. Now you have a TV here, but this is a power up and down, so you have a little switch. If you're not into TV, you can lower the TV down and look out the window instead. Those other RVs I mentioned have two tiny little windows here but this has one giant window. So if you put the TV down and you're driving down the road, you can either be laying in the dinette as a sleeper configuration or put it as a seating dinette. While we have it in this position, I'm going to point out these things are latch for child seats. This is something new that they've been doing in some of the RVs. So you can latch in the child seats for travel over the road. If you have the baby car seats, you could fit 2 of them in here. This is the only RV I've seen that could support 2 of them. That's pretty cool. You've got a sofa with windows right here. Now when I was showing the outside, I mentioned from sitting inside the motorhome, you can see outside the front window. Now this has a front bunk that lowers down, but when you're driving, that bunk is up. So if the driver is driving along and seems to be impressed, wow, check out that view over there, or check out this, or whatever's interesting to your family, you can just look forward and see it, or look out your side windows and see it, as opposed to a C-Class motorhome where you have this giant bubble cab with a low-hanging bunk. On a C-Class, those seats are actually a foot lower for the driver and passenger. So in a Class A, you have better visibility because you're sitting up a foot higher. It actually makes it a lot easier to drive an A-Class motorhome compared with a C-Class motorhome. You have a nice kitchen. Again, I keep telling you, this is a nice luxury high-end motorhome. You got little fancy lights underneath your cabinets. You've got a switch right here on your cooktop. You have an oven, gas oven with a window, which that's pretty cool, so you can check on what you're baking in there. You have a glass cooktop with under cabinet lighting. This is also lighting. You can open your cooktop up, and then when you light it, if you turn the gas on, these turn red. So if you accidentally left the gas on, you'll see red. So you know that you have a hot burner somewhere if these turn red. That's the point of the color-coded LEDs. This is a safety device. They all turn red. So if you're cooking, that'll turn red. Somebody walking by will notice the red burner and like, oh look, the heat is on. That'll help you avoid accidents. You're not going to leave the gas on and forget, especially if you use the light switch. The light has to be on for that to work, but it's pretty cool. I recommend using it at all times when you're cooking. Or when you're using the coach, always have this lights on. Because up on the roof, remember, you have a solar powered 200 watt battery charger. So during the day when this RV is out in the sun, the solar on the roof is charging your batteries. So as you're inside using battery power, it's just kind of a tug of war. Who's gonna charge it first? The solar's gonna be charging while you're using. So you're maintaining that battery level. Now if you're at a plugged-in full hookup campground, it may not matter. And also if you're running the generator, it may not matter how much power you're using. While we're talking about power, it has a really nice power control system. So if I push select, it says service 30 amp. I can change it to service 20 amp because actually I'm only plugged into 20 amps right now. And what that means is if you plug it in at your house to an extension cord that's not a 30 amp cord, you can select a lower power level. You can even go down to 15 amps. And the big advantage, 30, 20, or 15, if your available power is only 20 amps and you start turning on both air conditioners, you might pop a circuit breaker in your house. But if you set this power input setting at the appropriate power level of the circuit you're connected to, maybe you're only plugged into a 15 amp circuit, which is like the ones you probably have in your bedroom at your home. If it's only 15 amp, you set this for 15 amp. That way when the RV is plugged in using some kind of extension cord, you're not blowing breakers on the house and losing all your power all at once. But notice, even though I'm on 15 amps, this air conditioner is still running. I have this roof AC running. I'm blowing air through chill grills. I can close my chill grills, and that forces it through these H-shaped ducts. It's like an H. And then these ducts run all the way to the back, where the second AC is in the bedroom, which is really nice having two ACs. So even if you were plugged in on an extension cord, you could turn on the AC, you can run all the lights in here, you can start running things. But if you start turning on microwaves or something else, if you use too much power, the power control system might turn off the air conditioner while you're using the microwave. So that way you're not overusing the power that you have available. But of course, if you're at the campground plugged in on 30 amps, and a lot of coaches that have two roof ACs have 50 amp power, but this one only needs 30 amps, which means you can buy the less expensive campsites, or you have more access to campsites that may only have 30 amp power. So if the campground is almost sold out and they don't have any more 50 amp campsites, you can plug into a 30 amp and you're fine. No worries. And then your level gauges, people always ask, how much, where's the level gauge battery? Of course it's full, because it has solar to keep it full. Fresh water is almost full. Black is actually empty. The housekeeper was going through and cleaning it, so they put a little bit of water in the tank. But we have two water heaters, electric water heater or propane water heater. It's actually one unit with two heat sources. If you go to the campground, the full hookup campground, and you got 8 people with you and you're going to take a lot of showers using a lot of water, you can turn on both water heaters and you're not going to run out of hot water because you're maintaining. You have your onboard water pump, you got tank heaters. This is only for cold weather. The tank heater, you only need that if it's like going to be below freezing at night. You turn this on to prevent your water valves and things from freezing up. That's what that's for. So with the water pump on, you've got these fancy sinks which you can turn on, spray with aeration, really nice. In the back of the kitchen counter, you've got a power outlet. This thing, you can push the red button and it drops down or pulls up. You've got a Type-C USB, a regular USB, and 210 volt outlets. You've got outlets over here. You've got outlets over here. Look how many outlets they give you. They're all over the place. You got an outlet over here. I believe there's an outlet right there next to the passenger seat, so their passenger has an outlet. And you've got USB ports scattered around too. Remember, down there I showed you that little Zentrix Freedom Control. This has an inverter, so those outlets will work even if you're not plugged in or you're not driving down the road. I'm sorry, if you're not running the generator or plugged in, those outlets will still work because you have the onboard inverter. Now in your bedroom, you have this nice fancy bed with nightstands, and let's see what's next to the bed. You've got a pop-up USB gizmo that you can plug into on this side. I showed you those reading lights, I showed you the dressers, I showed you the TV. There's another pop-up USB on this side of the bed. You've got a headboard which is like a vinyl material, which is easy to clean. So it's not a fabric one, it's a vinyl one. So actually the mattress has still got plastic on this motorhome. The previous buyer never even took the plastic off the motorhome, so the mattress is brand spanking new, sealed in plastic. A lot of people worry about cooties and COVID and all those things. See this little hole here? I believe that's if you happen to need to use a CPAP machine or oxygen or anything like that, that's a pathway to run your CPAP equipment hose down to the bed. for either side. It's centered there. There's outlets in here too, 110 volt outlet. Even in the cabinet there's an outlet. There's a lot more outlets in this motorhome than the other motorhomes that I previously mentioned to you. This is a outlet, well-equipped motorhome. One thing about Jayco, they give you larger windows. You've got big windows in the bunk. In other motorhomes, the window is half the size. This is twice as big for the windows that they provide, so it lets a lot of light in. You have excellent visibility. And then with all these accent lighting, we look under the cabinets, it's nice and clean. You got a counter extension. So I mentioned we have the front over the seats bunk. We're going to lower that down. It's as easy as releasing this little seat belt that keeps it from coming down when you're driving. And you hit the button, lower it down. It even has a light. You can use your ladder to access the bunk. This is a little guardrail to keep people from falling out. There's another guardrail for the front. I think these are reversed, but there's two little guardrails to keep you from rolling off that side or this side. You've got privacy blackout curtains, which you can pull down for total privacy in your bunk. And of course the front curtain is electric power curtain. You've got storage compartments up overhead. There's a lot of storage. These are large and deep storage compartments. On the opposite side there's actual storage over the dinette. On the earlier mentioning of certain motorhomes like Hurricane, Windsport, Ace, those sort of motorhomes, they don't have any storage over the dinette because they have a TV mounted and two windows. But because this one has the power TV, which you can raise, there's USB ports right there. Because you have a power TV that goes up when you want to put on a show, literally. Like in the old movie theaters, they used to have curtains in front of the screen. And up there, you have a Wi-Fi booster and a amplified TV antenna. So if we turn on the TV, it's a Fire TV. So I don't know if you have Chromecast or Fire TV at home, but this is smart TVs with a Fire TV built in. So I showed, when I was showing the roof, the little round dome, the Wi-Fi booster accepts a little cellular data card, so you can connect it to your cellular carrier, and then the RV can have cellular connection to feed from its own source to your TVs and stuff like that. So you have TV from 4G or 5G for your TVs going down the road, streaming Amazon or Netflix or something like that. You have that capability, and there's outlets and things up there which those other brand motorhomes don't have. Kitchen cabinet storage, that's the outlet for the microwave. We still got the energy guide sticker, I think, for the television. $6 a year if you left it on all year. This is LED TV, so they use very little electricity. One of the things I'm going to go back to here is your mega size refrigerator. I'm going to talk about refrigerators for a minute, because this refrigerator runs on propane or 110 volt power like you would have at home. When it's running on propane, it's using 12 volt battery and propane. It has what they call an ammonia water labyrinth behind, which causes the cooling reaction instead of a compressor. These are very energy efficient. So with your solar on the roof, you can leave this refrigerator on, and as long as you have propane, you'll have a cold refrigerator because it's using the solar power and the propane to keep everything cold inside. Very little power use. On some of those other motorhomes that I mentioned, like Hurricane and Windsport, some of them give you an actual residential refrigerator, and those use a horrendous amount of power, especially if you're using it a lot. Those, your batteries could last as little as 8 hours before your batteries are drained and you need to run the generator to recharge. So this one is really well set up for a large capacity and dry camping with minimal power consumption, which is nice. Now if you start using TVs, they use a little bit more. You do have the solars on the roof, but if you needed more solar, you could always add a second solar panel because there's only one up there. For most users, you only need the one, but if you're a heavy user, you could add more solar panels on the roof if need be. But for most people, that's not necessary. Just having one is plenty for this RV, the way it is configured to be energy efficient. And I'm filming, but I'm filming indoors. I still didn't have all the lights on, so it's got the what I'll call a whitewash style interior, which makes it really light in here. It doesn't look like that ugly wood, yellowy wood color. This is a kind of like an off-white, sort of a, not exactly gray, but this is a very modern 2025, 2024, 2023 color scheme. I haven't seen too many motorhomes with a nice looking color scheme like this. A lot of them have the dark wood, but this has the dark wood with a light interior, so it's very light inside. I'm turning every available light on for filming purposes, but you don't have to. You could just be walking around with the accent lighting. If you like it really light inside or not so much, you can preserve your night vision by turning all the main lights off and just have the accent lights. And so when you're running in and out of the coach, you still have light in here, but you're protecting your night vision if you want to look up at the stars and things like that, but you still can get through the coach without falling down and stumbling all over yourself. So this has a different kind of dreamlight in it. I'm going to show you how the table works. You literally lift up here, pull it away from the wall and push down there. It has a lift support. It goes down like that. There's other design that is like a table elevator. This is different. This is something new that they came up with. Some clever engineer with a fancy computer to design it. The table turns from bed to table in seconds, and the weight of the table is assisted by the lift support. Now this RV gives you lots and lots of seat belts. There's 2, 4, 6, and then behind here there's 2 more, so you have 8 seat belts in this coach. And there's storage. If you're lifting up the cushions, you have storage in there under the seating area. So you want to put a case of bottled water or beer or something over here. This is angled slightly. If you put something round, it won't roll around. It may be something softer, not something heavy in that compartment, but you can put heavy stuff in this compartment, like a case of bottled water or 2, or soda, or whatever you're going to drink. You can set it in there in a secure location. Everybody will be sitting, is like, where's all the alcohol? And he's like, I ain't telling. So now with the dinette and the seating configuration, you've got 4 seat belts, so your whole family can hang out with the TV right there. So you could have the TV on, you could have the window open, you got plenty of overstimulation for all the people riding in the back of the motorhome. Now we're inside the building and we're not plugged into any antenna, just the over-the-air antenna with the amplifier. See those little green LEDs? Those little push buttons, those have to be on for you to pick up your over-the-air broadcast. And then we're even getting channels here inside the building, getting the latest news from Channel 5 here in Southern California. KTLA. but you have a lot of room to walk back and forth. Jack and Jill configuration. It's similar to those other floor plans, but this is more upscale. You can release your door. It has a security strap, and then you can close this door for privacy in the bedroom. You can release this security strap and close it for privacy in the bathroom. And then you have a glass shower enclosure, which is actually similar to what the other ones have. But you have all these black fixtures. You have a shower massage of more high-end ones. And you have like a acrylic style interior to your bathroom with a it looks like a simulated marble appearance, yet it's easy to clean, and it still has the original tags on it. So I don't think they took too many showers in here at all. Everything, there's no it looks like they bought it and they were afraid to use it. Now with 5,000 miles on it, some of those miles were just driving it from the Indiana manufacturing site to the original selling dealer. So this one has almost no sign of use. I can't see any. I mean, the bed is covered in plastic. The faucets look like they've never really been turned on to be used. It's almost a brand new spanking new unit. So I don't think you can go wrong with this one. We've already inspected it, tested everything. Everything is working. I forgot to show you where the second AC control is. It's right here in the bedroom. So if we turn around, this is a rear AC control. And then again, you've got light switches in here for everything. So some people, it's hard to reach the ceiling, especially if you're a little kid. Or if you're grandma or grandpa, you may be mobility impaired, so you don't want to fall over trying to reach the ceiling. But you have easy to reach light switches that everybody can access, even if you're 2 years old. And then when it's time to go to bed, you've got privacy curtains with really nice hardware, so it slides really well. And then you've got, someone can sleep there with the curtains dampening the noise from the adults who are not in bed yet. Now that we've gone on our little test drive, as we put the bunk up, it runs up super smooth. As long as I'm pushing the button, it goes up like a piece of cake. Some of the nicer motorhomes are using this similar mechanism, and to secure it, you literally just buckle this seat belt, and that seat belt will prevent this bunk from dropping down while you're driving down the road. It's a safety buckle, it's a safety belt, and that's all you need to keep this bunk from moving as you're traveling down the road. Similar to the bedrooms, the driver gets these reading lights, or they turn blue or white at the press of a button, and the co-pilot gets those as well, and they work on both settings. When I was outside, you couldn't really see this, but this has accent lights, which from the driver's seat you can turn these on. If I wanted to film myself, I could turn these on for lighting. You got your fancy navigation stereo, and we've talked about some of that stuff already. Power mirrors, heated mirrors, power driver's seat. We haven't mentioned that. This is a power driver's seat, so you have a 6-way power adjustment, and the seat material that Jayco uses is very sun resistant material. And these seats swivel, and I showed you the table that goes right here. You can swivel, you can set up your table, so if you had people sleeping in your dinette and you got up in the morning and you had your table here, you could use this table if this bunk was up. But if you had a full house, you could also go out and use the campground picnic tables. In the passenger seat, I've already showed you This got nice deep cup holders that your tumblers will fit in. You've got USB port, you've got 110 volt plugs, you've got an extendable pull-out tray for you can put your laptop or iPad, things like that. This can put away. AC vents that you can control. A lot of storage so you can put your Kleenex boxes or your bags of chips or your maps up on the dashboard. Cubbies right here. More deep cup holders. Place for your phone right here. Easy access. Maybe you want to put your iPad up here, I don't know. Whatever you want to put. And there's more storage compartments up here as well. I keep telling you, there's a lot of storage here that they don't have with some of the other motorhomes. This one is blacked out because it's got the control units to control the bed, but this is also storage over the driver's seat. So you got storage here and all that, easy access. We have 2 sets of keys for this motorhome. So we're going on a test drive of the 2023 Jayco Alante bunk bed motorhome. It has excellent visibility. It has a one-piece windshield, not like the older RVs, and it has a power sunshade with sunshade controls, so I can lower my sunshade so that the sun doesn't blind me. You can literally drive this head on into the sunset and still see where you're going, because you can put that sunshade down nice and low to keep the sun out of your field of vision. So as we maneuver around this parking lot, I'm going to put the sunshade back up, as opposed to the old sun visor that you have to flip down. You've got a power sun visor. So we're going to make a U-turn. We have this our side view camera here. We're in a parking lot and we're making a U-turn in the parking lot. This has an excellent turning radius. So Ford redesigned the chassis of the F53 chassis, which is what this motorhome uses, and it's dramatic improvement to the way the motorhome drives over prior year motorhomes. It's pretty nice. Let's take it out on the road here. It's a solid, smooth ride. The springs and suspension on the V8 chassis have been improved over previous years. On older year chassis, this one is your chassis label is right there. I'm going to include a picture of it. No traffic. It's a V8 engine and it's a lightweight motorhome, so it has a lot of power. If you want to tow a trailer and climb up and down through hills and mountain switchbacks to go see scenic high country, you can do it with this motorhome. Nice configuration. We're not going to drive around too much, but people want to see and hear what it sounds like, so we're showing it. Side view camera. When I turn on the turn signal, I get side view cameras either direction. The cameras are in the mirror, so they can be aimed a little bit. When you aim the mirror, you aim the camera. When we put it in reverse, we have a backup camera. let's see if I can make a U-turn or not in this intersection here. Let's attempt it. U-turn successful. So when I say the F53 has a tight turning radius, you can make U-turns in places that C-class motorhomes might not be able to do, because what they call the wheel cut angle, how much angle the wheels can turn versus the wheelbase, how long is the motorhome, is very advantageous for your driving ease. So we're not going to go too far, we're going to keep it slow, and then we're going to maneuver around the parking lot. So we're going to attempt to park this motorhome in one single parking space and see how well we can pull it off. So as we back up into this parking space, we don't want to kill the bush. You can't really back it into one single parking space unless you run over the top of the bush. So we're still sticking out. So normally when you go to Walmart or someplace, you're going to park further away from the building, and you're going to try to take 4 parking spaces with this motorhome. If you try to park close and take 4 parking spaces, people will get mad at you. But if you park far out, where the people with the work trucks and trailers and stuff park, you'll be okay, and you can easily fit it in 4 parking spaces. 1 is asking a little too much for this motorhome. Your leveling jack controls are right here. To use the leveling jacks in the slide out on this motorhome, the engine should be off. With the engine off, you turn on power and you hit auto level, and that's all you got to do, and the coach will level it. It'll level itself to what's called a 0 point. 0 point is something that you can personalize and change, but the 0 point is what is the person who decided makes it level. If you don't like the 0 point, you can adjust it for your own personal taste, and you can get a level out and set it up once, or you can set it to your personal taste. When you want to raise the leveling jacks, it's as easy as releasing the parking brake. With the engine on, the jacks will auto retract. When they're done retracting, it'll beep and it'll stop. It'll beep while it's retracting, and it'll stop beeping once they're fully retracted. You have steering wheel controls, which are new configuration when you get the V8 engine and the newer chassis. You get steering wheel controls, which are a new configuration with the updated chassis and the V8 engine, which controls your on-screen menu. Right now this has 4,938 miles. We got trip A, trip B, fuel economy readings. We were getting ridiculously high fuel economy readings when we were driving it back from Vegas. It's showing like 15 miles per gallon. We're not promising that you're going to get that on a regular basis, but that's what it was showing. So all these settings and stuff like that are adjustable. We'll go over those. Your hazard lights, traction control on or off, headlight controls, generator start and stop right here from the dashboard. Generator's running. With the generator started, you can then run your air conditioning units on the roof. So on your cross-country trip, I will advise you to not put alcohol-based fuel into a motorhome, because the generator is a carburetor and that stuff boils out on hot summer days. So if you can use non-ethanol gasoline, is recommended for driving in summertime in the motorhome. Your power mirrors, USB ports, window shade up and down, accent lights. These lights in the dashboard are accent lights. If you were filming yourself while driving, you could turn those on so you have driver illumination Or when you're parked, it make it look cool, although they do affect your night vision when you're driving in the dark. A lot of people don't even drive motorhomes in the dark. Again, premium stereo. I believe the stereo is a Sony with Apple CarPlay capability and Android Auto. So your smartphone can act as the navigation for your dash. AC blows nice and cold, the rear AC blows nice and cold, and you have 2 air conditioners. You've got a full gauge package on here: transmission temperature, fuel gauge, temperature, oil, and then you can go through your various menus, fuel economy menus, driver assist with voltmeter, maintenance monitor, engine hours. This has 137 hours on the driving engine. Engine idle hours are 34 idle hours. So only 100 driving hours on this motorhome. Voltmeter, was voltage, all kinds of nice little menus of which you control from the steering wheel. And cup holders. Look, these are nice cup holders. This is a giant tumbler that fits in the cup holder or in this cup holder as well. Your cargo carrying capacity for this motorhome is on this yellow sticker. It's 2,057 pounds, so it can carry a ton of people and occupants. This is on the 18,000 pound gross vehicle weight chassis. That's your VIN number. As we go underneath, you start out at the tow hitch and the 80-gallon fuel tank. There's your propane tank as well. Leveling jacks are down. We have tires with valve stem extenders, so you can always check your pressure with no huff and no guff. That's got a rear anti-sway bar, your drive shaft, your exhaust system, catalytic converter with a catalytic converter anti-theft device. This makes it hard for someone to steal your catalytic converter. The tires are excellent. Very clean motorhome. The springs, radiator, engine, everything is leak free, no leaks. Looks like brand new underneath, not even dirty. Your front 19.5 inch diameter rim diameter tires, your exhaust, that V8 engine. Again, the catalytic converter has an anti-theft device on it. You have your rear dual tires, excellent tread, being that it's a 2023 with almost still new tires. You got mud guards. Another look at the 80-gallon fuel tank. Your rear tow hitch. The tow hitch is rated for 5,000 pounds according to the label. Has a 7-pin connector plus the 4-pin connector to make it easy to connect up to your trailer. Just plug in the trailer and you're ready to go. So as we take a look at the cargo compartments, starting on the passenger side, they're giant, side hinged, which means if you accidentally forget to latch it all the way, as you're driving forward, the wind will blow them closed so that they're not flying open as you're going around corners. This one actually has motion sensing cargo compartment lights, so you don't have to turn a switch on and off. They motion sense when you're accessing your cargo compartment. The lights turn on automatically. In this compartment, we have our solar charge controller, factory installed by the manufacturer. And since the motion sensor lights come on, you can see all the way across. You have room for 8-foot folding tables, chairs, folding bicycles, things like that will fit. There's a lot of cargo space in this motorhome. And then you saw the lights come on. And these cargo doors have slam latches, which you just give them a slam and they latch. Right here we have our onboard propane quick connector. This is electrical room. You have your house batteries, your hydraulics for your leveling jacks. Everything is accessible right here. It ready for immediate camping. This next compartment is a cargo compartment, big enough probably fit some nice big inflatable kayak or whatever you can think of to put in there. Portable barbecue to use a quick connect. Cargo compartment here goes across to the other side. Again, room for 8-foot folding tables here as well. If you were engaged in an activity where you needed to bring 8-foot folding tables with you, they'll actually fit in 2 compartments on this motorhome. This is a more narrow compartment. Keep your extra shoes, winter boots, something like that in this cargo compartment. Again, motion sensing light. This little key, if you didn't know what those are let you to remove your wheel covers. There's a couple lugs that have a little divot right here. You can use that to remove those if you needed to for tire service. Again, this is 2023, so tires is the last thing you probably need to worry about. We do check tire pressure. The front hood, this has, before we go to the other side, you probably want to see the V8 engine. Well, you can't see it from the front. This is your air intake, but if you want to see it, when I get to the underneath viewing, I show it at the bottom of it, or you can look in from the sides. They added extra air ventilation on the sides to provide additional cooling so that the engine will run cooler and less heat transfers to the occupants of the vehicle. There are quite a few chassis design changes for the 2023 model year. This is actually, the changes happened back in 2020, but some of the motorhomes weren't built until 2021 or 22 with the new chassis designs, and this is a 2023, so it has the latest and greatest upgrades. Some of those include a 6-speed transmission with tow haul mode. There's a look at the alternator and a little bit of the engine. Cargo compartments here. Another small, this is your generator. 4,000 watt generator powers both rooftop ACs. I went to Vegas with this unit and successfully ran both air conditioners reliably from that generator, and they kept me comfortable on a 105-degree day, plus the dash AC. I ran them both. That's your water control system. That is your tank dumps, your black and your gray tanks in this compartment. Another cargo storage compartment that is passed through to the other side. And your power cord compartment. This has nice little roller wheels so that the cord will roll as you pull it in and out. This is more of a luxury Jayco model. It's not full body paint, it's partial body paint, but it is a more high-end model than a lot of what you get from a lot of manufacturers. So my name is Mike Johnson. I want to thank you for watching my video tour of this 2023 Jayco Alante Bunk Bed Motorhome. If you are watching this video on a phone, I do recommend you put it on a giant screen TV in your living room by going to my YouTube channel. Open up the YouTube app on your big TV in your living room. Look for the YouTube channel, which is My Best Car Com on YouTube. There's no dot. That's my YouTube channel. If you want to look at my website, the website also has my YouTube channel, which is mybestcar.com. So the spelling of my YouTube channel and the website is the same, but on YouTube there is no dot. If you're going to pay for the vehicle, your check is paid to the order of a buyer's choice. My name is Mike Johnson. We have RV sales, service, and parts in Southern California. You can contact us between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. at 951-681-2101, including to reserve this motorhome before somebody else gets it.